If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button as well as the bell to be notified of future videos.
Greetings, hi, hallo, dag sê. Ja, hallo internet. Dankie dat julle hier by my aansluit vandag. Thanks for joining me. We are going to be chatting about the 1980 top 20. Firstly, let me say, Happy New Year. Ja, geseënde nuwe jaar. Mag dit baie lekker jaar vir julle wees. May it be a great year for you. 2023, here we go. Our first top 20 chat for the year. Now, I will note a few things here before we get carrying on with the actual top 20. Once again, we cannot play the tracks because of YouTube will just copyright, ban us, strike us. We cannot. So I have come up with a different idea. I do podcasts now, music podcasts, not the top 20. I'm not going to go and repeat this top 20. This is just merely for chats. But today, when the this video goes live on air, just an hour or so before that, the first podcast, Vossie's Anti-Angst Alternative Podcast, will go, the first for 2023 will go live. I've had a lot of good feedback. Thank you to all the folk that have downloaded and or listened to the podcasts over the Christmas and New Year period. Positive. Thank you very, very much for your feedback. And once again, I'm going to state here categorically, I'm an amateur. Don't shoot the messenger. I am only trying to provide some entertainment and memories and get the conversation going. So yes, next up, I'm going to show you the rules for this top 20. I'll stress again, it's 3 different websites that I use, 3 different sets of lists. So I'll also stress that I've had the odd guy leave me a comment saying, why isn't this one? Why isn't that one? Because if they do not appear on these lists with the links are provided for you, you can go and check it out yourself. I'm not selling you porkies. Ek beloof vir julle. Ek verkoop nie vir julle varkies nie. As die mense nie op die lys is nie, kan ek hulle nie insluit in die in the particular year. So this year is, that we're doing today is 1980. And we're starting to get to the era now where music is changing quite rapidly from the 70s, the late 60s prog rock, and the 70s hard rock, and folk is sort of dwindling, folk music. But in any case, next step I want to do, I'm going to include, somebody left me a comment about playing this and playing that, and I'm going to leave you I'm going to leave you a slide here with 5 names on. I'm not going to call these names out, but what I am saying, these, for this was 1980. Once again, they were on the 1980 playlists. Once again, these are names that you will not see on my playlists. These are people that I cannot tolerate the music of, or it just doesn't make sense to me. So there's 5 names for you. You won't get them on any of my playlists ever. You won't get them on the podcast. I just don't play these people's music. Okay. Enough said of that. You can have we look at the slide here for a second or 3 longer. And now I'm going to lash straight into the 1980 top 20. Okay, I've got it open and we're ready to go. Number 20, Atomic by Blondie. Yeah, Blondie will feature because she was The group Blondie, led by Debbie Harry, was quite the sensation in those days. I do enjoy a bit of Blondie. I can listen, as you well can think, because I think even last year's or the previous one, I had Blondie on there too. Okay, number 19. Here's a bit of the South African list, a bit of fun. Son of Jamaica, the Goombay dance band. Yeah, get your toes tapping. Remind you of the good old days when you got your toes tapping. Then number 18, and this, as I've said many times, a lot of these could be higher, they could be lower, they could be all over. I've got to fit 20 songs from 3 different years' playlists onto one list of 20 songs. So this could have been higher. The Long Run, Eagles. Yep, great song. And once again, I will reiterate, there were other songs in 1980 on different playlists of the Eagles, or Eagles as they are actually known. But I only allow myself one by an artist. Okay, or band or group or whatever you want to call it. Number 17, All Out of Love, Air Supply. Yeah, we were sort of going into this new age, new wave, new whatever you want to call it, more melodic, let's call it soft rock. Yeah, this is an enjoyable song. Number 16, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, Billy Joel. This is actually off Glass Houses, if I can remember correctly, where he decided to grab this whole new wave thing by the bull by the horns, and he came out with most of these songs are new wave-ish kind of Billy Joel's way of keeping up with the times. Then number 15, we have an instrumental. I do enjoy the odd instrumental, and this is Rise by Herb Albert. Remember Rise? It was a good bit of music. It is a good bit of music. If you haven't listened to it lately, go find it and listen to it and enjoy it. 14, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Pat Benatar. Now, if Blondie was all the rage, Debbie Harry, then Pat Benatar on the opposite side of the Atlantic, she really, really, really hit it big. She had quite a few, 3 or 4 songs in quick succession. I chose this one, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Okay, number 13, Brass in Pocket, The Pretenders, another lady that knew all about it. By all accounts, Chrissy Hind, she was rather a feisty lass, she's still apparently quite a feisty lass. There you go, Brass in Pocket. This is also off the South African list. As you can see, all those in capitals, they off the South African list. The others are from the UK and or the US list, and obviously many of these appear on all 3 lists. So it makes it somewhat easier. If they're on all 3 lists and I like them, then you'll find them here. Promise. All right. Then the next, number 12. I absolutely love this song. Gus will also enjoy this. Gus enjoy The Rose, Bette Midler. Terrific song. This could and should maybe have been way higher. All right. The Rose, that's number 12. Number 11, Could You Be Loved, Bob Marley and the Wailers. We've got to have Bob Marley and the Wailers. They sort of hit the SA scene about 1980. I do recall late 1980, early 1981, sitting on a beach in Port Elizabeth with hearing this sound for the first time. Somebody had it, and of course we all gravitated towards Bob Marley and the Wailers. Could You Be Loved? Number 10, Ballyhoo, South African, Man on the Moon. Yes, absolutely, number 10. We have to have some South African content, and you might not agree with me, but I'm going to put South African bands often as what I possibly can onto this list. As I've said to you before, ek vat so 6 van elke lys af en dan om dit, what's the word I'm looking, me and my Afrikaans, I'm slipping up, to make it more equal of the various lists. I try and use about 6 or 7, well, 6 and then 1 or 2 from whichever way it goes. So there you go. That is number 10, Bally Who, Man on the Moon. David Essex, do you remember the movie Silver Dream Machine? Yeah, we have to have a bit of David Essex. This obviously off the UK list. I quite enjoyed this song too. And I enjoyed the movie. I did watch the movie, but well, I can't remember back that far because it had bikes and stuff that boys of that age wanted to be part of. Silver Dream Machine. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers is number 8. Don't Do Me Like That, Tom Petty. You probably find more of Tom Petty in the future too, and you will find Tom Petty on the podcasts. I don't always put every artist on, obviously, because there's many before I can get to another one, but I'm sure you'll find Tom Petty somewhere in one of the podcasts in the very near future. That's a promise. Promise. Right, next up we will have Enola Gay, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Once again, we're sort of heading towards that New Romantics, whatever this music was called. Enola Gay was actually banned in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a good song. OMD did good stuff. Quite enjoyable. All right, that was, let me check my list again. That was number 7. Number 6. We can't go anywhere without a bit of Rolling Stones. Can we? We need Rolling Stones often. Yeah, I'm a big Stones fan. Anyway, Strolling Bones, Rolling Stones, call them what you want to. They've made music, great music for a long time. Don't get too cranial about the music. Ja, moenie te veel wil inlees in die musiek nie. Dis musiek, dis lekker musiek, and that's what it's all about. Okay, so that's Emotional Rescue, the Rolling Stones. Number 5, Styx. I've got Styx here again. Styx and me like each other. Babe, the song Babe. So that's number 5. So as I've said many times before, the top 5 especially totally interchangeable. I just put them down to get them down, and then on any given day I could swap and change them around, but that's number 5 for you. Number 4, Peter Gabriel, after he left Genesis. Another favorite band of mine, Genesis. I like a lot of the UK singers, songwriters, bands, artists, call them what you want to. They make great music. Games Without Frontiers, great song. Peter Gabriel is quite the artist. He's quite the visionary, and it's concepts and new ideas and the likes. We were blessed enough to see him just about 10 years ago in Dublin. A great show. I really enjoy it up until he starts playing one particular song, which I think he can start cutting out of his repertoire. But I'm not going to mention that song. Anyway, that was number 4. Number 3, Ashes to Ashes, David Bowie. How can we not have David Bowie on the list? Not one of his greatest songs, but a great song, and it charted in 1980. That's why it's on the list. Number 3. Number 2, Ride Like the Wind, Christopher Cross. Can you ever forget the green and the pink LPs, Christopher Cross? Apparently, he's still sort of doing the scene every once in a while in the States, small clubs and small venues, but terrific song, Ride Like the Wind. And then, oh yes, it's got to be number one, Against the Wind, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. This song will feature, or other songs from this LP will feature in 1983 again, with a good reason. The reason being that this was one of our flight engineers course songs. So 40 years ago, this one sort of was high on our list, Against the Wind, because it came out on the Against the Wind LP then and there. Anyway, there you have 1980. As I've said many times before, 1980, plenty good music. And I hope this stimulates a bit of conversation. Ja, dankie dat julle die moeite doen om te luister en ook ek herinner julle net weer eens na die podcast. Die skakel is hier onder. Koos sal hom vir ons insit. So I thank you, and yes, in association with Legacy Conversations, I do the podcasts. There's a reason why it's in association with. It's because I took a year subscription with the podcasts because I had a bit of change from the laptop fund, this very laptop that I'm using here, a bit of change. So I used that so that I can do at least a 2-weekly podcast. I can either do 4 short 1-hour ones per month, or I can do 2 longer ones, 2.5 hours per month. I'm still seeing how it best pans out. I may do 1 short, 1 long, 1 short, 1 long. I'm playing with ideas. But once again, I do say thank you very much for watching, and do say thank you very much for putting up with me and my music tastes. So until we meet again, God bless.